Hey YouTube, Thrifty Mestiza here. Today's video is going to be about recapping what I did in April for sales and what my plans are and my goals for May will be. So I sell on Poshmark and Mercari and sometimes eBay, and for all intents and purposes with what's going on in the world, I'm a full-time reseller just because I am not currently working because it's the current lockdown situation due to the COVID virus. So last month for April, I ended up listing a total of 75 items, and my profit, let me refer to my notes, ended up being $342.12 with the total of 37 items sold. And that is pure profit minus fees, minus shipping materials. So it is truly net profit, not gross. So, 75 items, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, that was quite a bit. It was a struggle. Everyone's lives have been sort of turned upside down right now due to the virus. And I have two small children, and they are doing distance learning. And that has taken a lot of my time. I've always had a great appreciation for teachers. My mother's an educator, and so now I have even more an appreciation for them. So a lot of my time is taken up with school with my kids. So for the month of May, and how I went about goal setting for me is I used to work in the corporate world. We've always used the SMART model. And if you've never heard of the SMART model, I'm sure you have if you've worked in some sort of corporate capacity, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So you want to make sure that you're setting goals within a certain time frame. So my time frame is May. You want to make sure they're actually reachable. I mean, you don't want to make them so crazy that you can't even come close to them, but you also want to push yourself and stretch yourself. And then you also want to have something like a true metric that you can measure. So for me, based on the time that I have, the data I have on what I did in April, and based on the current inventory I have, along with the capital I have to acquire more inventory, being that you can't go out to source on a regular basis right now. My goal for May is to list minimum of 150 items, and that ends up bringing 5 items a day, which would be my measurable metric. And then I'd like to realistically share my Poshmark closet at least 4 times a day, because we all know that sharing does have some correlation with sales, or at least those of us who've been selling on Poshmark for a while. We know that sharing our closet does help. And then finally, with listing on Mercari, I want to be able to leverage their promotional tools in order to promote my items and put them on the top of the list. So those are my specific goals for May. And those goals work for me and my personal business model. And I'm going to make sure and do weekly updates to hold myself accountable. And the reason why I'm posting on YouTube is I have a really good friend who always tells me, you got to put it out in the universe. So if you just keep it to yourself and you don't tell anybody about it and you don't put it out to the universe, it's less likely to happen. So I'm putting my goals out to the universe, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys more of my journey and what happens in May. Thanks so much, you guys. Stay safe, still stay healthy.